Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great week. Happy April to you. A lot of fun games are coming out this month, and one of those games that I've been highly anticipating for this month is called Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree, which is a dark fantasy RPG that blends deep combat, immersive exploration, and a rich narrative. And it is a hand-painted gothic world, and players can build their characters, master skill-based combat, and carve their path through a realm shrouded in shadows and danger. I talked about this in a Steam Next Fest, probably the last one that happened back in October, and I had a blast playing this game, and it looks so good. And it's being developed by Primal Game Studio and published by Knight's Peak. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this game today is that the fine folks at Knight's Peak did send me a preview build to be able to check this out before the game releases on April the 17th, so in about a couple weeks or so. And I'm so excited to be able to show off what is available in this game, what this game has to offer. But be in mind that because this is a preview build, not everything was available to me at the time that I was playing it, but I will show off what will be available, some of the systems, some of the customization, and just some of the combat and some exploration elements in it. And so you'll get to see some of the things I've been enjoying. There's a lot of Souls-like and Metroidvania-like elements, which was what drew me to this game in the first place. It's a hand-painted gothic world, and you'll see some of the character arc is fantastic in here. It's a very dark and immersive world, very high-stakes skill-based combat, and expansive discovery in a very non-linear exploration. You're not really handheld through the game. It kind of wants you to explore more of what the world has to offer by offering side quests and some side content and some stuff like that. So yeah, been having a ton of time playing this. Let's jump into it right now so I can show you what this game is all about. Okay, so what we have here, the first thing that you'll see when you pop open the game is the customization. And like I said, because this is a preview build, not everything is available. So first off, we have 6 classes in total, but what was only available to me during this build is the 3 classes. So we have the Vanguard, which is essentially sword and board, standard warrior type of character, and then the Spellbinder, which is a mage, and then the Nightshade, which is basically a rogue. And you can see all their basic stats, all of what is available to them, like the physical, like the Vanguard is more physical damage, more toughness, more sustain, like a tank. The mage is more magic damage and range, just like a mage. And then the Nightshade is more physical damage and mobility and range as well. And you have their starting skills, which you can actually show what they are. Like the Vanguard has the uppercut, the Spellbinder has the Chaos Beam, which is used by what they're holding like that. It's like a totem almost. It's a relic. And then the Envenom skill with the rogue, which basically puts their daggers in it to basically gives their daggers poison. So yeah, so you can choose from one of these 3. The other 3, I'm not too sure what they're going to be. From the icons, I can see fire, which is probably going to be a pyromancer, and then maybe a tree. I think when I was watching some previews on this, I think it was like a druid almost, and then something that looks like stars, so maybe like astral something. So we'll have to see when the full game releases. You can choose from male to female. You can set their name, and so when you do enter it in, I'm just going to type in just like a basic name. Let's say Guts. If I wanted to choose a Vanguard, you can go next. And then you can go male to female. They have different faces, and not everything, and because, like I said, preview build, not everything is available right now, but you have various skin colors to choose from with your character, various hairstyles, hair color, tattoos, and then a voice.
Maybe. The sun is rising.
So only 2 voices available, because you do have a fully voiced protagonist, which is awesome. They actually do a lot of the narration throughout this as well. So yeah, not the most deep customization that I've ever had to deal with, but it's still a good customization. You can do a lot. You can't really set your body type, so I don't know why you can't really set a body type, but because you're looking at it in a more 2.5D plane, that might be why it's a little bit limited in the body type. But you know, good amount of tattoos here. And again, the voice is great. The fact that you can customize your voice and how your character speaks is going to be awesome. There's also dialogue choices that will be present therein. And so there's your character. Now we're going to jump into the game. I'm going to show off some of the systems with one of the characters that I've been going with. I actually have been I've been messing with all of these available builds, but I've been mostly focused on Vanguard. So I'm going to show off my Vanguard character here in just a second, and I'm gonna jump right into it. Okay, now we are here with my character. He is a level 16 Vanguard, so I've been playing quite a bit with this character. And so now I'm gonna show off some of the basic combat and basic movement abilities that every character is gonna have, and then talk about some more specific character things with this character. So every character is going to have a jump, which is exciting. Everybody does have a jump. You do have a roll, which is on RT. So you have jump on A, roll on RT. Everyone has a basic attack with X, either a sword or a dagger or a short sword or a great sword. So something like that. The Vanguard here has a block on LT, and they will have a specific ability I'll talk about here in a second. And you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner, you have the big bar here, which is your health, and then the middle bar, which is stamina. And then every character has another like tertiary bar related to that specific character. So for the Vanguard, they have something called adrenaline, which they can build by attacking enemies, and then you can use that adrenaline. You can use that adrenaline to spend on your ability, which is uppercut. That's your starting skill. You have there. Let's talk about the menu items. And so we have our character, and each character will have one main hand and two main hand and two offhand weapons. The daggers actually haven't messed with that. They actually do count as one slot, but they will appear on both hands. So I'm not really sure. I'll have to figure that out at some point. And then you have all of your different armors. So you have chest, head, gloves, and pants, and also capes. Something I haven't seen since I played WoW. So capes are armor, which gives you a certain amount of stats. So the armor I have is some stuff I've crafted so far. You have 4 ring slots, and then you have a number of different slots for items, consumables right here. And your health flask, which is essentially your Estus flask. I'm gonna use Souls terms when I talk about some of this stuff, because it's gonna be very relevant to some of the stuff I talk about later on. So you have health flask, which will refill every time you go to your shrine or your bonfire. So exactly what I'm talking about. And the other consumables, like maybe a linen bandage or a sharpening stone or food, which you can buy in town. And then you have things like a leather armor kit, which increases armor or stuff like that. So inventory, a lot of stuff that you've collected. So loot that enemies have dropped, stuff you got from quests that you use to craft, things of that nature. So all different kinds of things. And then your talent tree. This is actually a pretty substantial talent tree. And for this particular preview, I'm only locked into the Vanguard talent tree. Okay, so it's Vindicator, Wild Warden, Nightshade, Spellbinder, and Flame Weaver. So these are all the different specific class talent trees. So because we're a Vanguard, this is the talent tree that we're working on. You can see I've kind of built out some of the stuff here. I've kind of leaned heavy more on defense to kind of give myself more of a tankier build. And you have all the various resources you can see, like your health, mana, stamina, and kind of like Souls, this stuff correlates. So like Constitution is more related to health, Endurance is more related to stamina, Vigor is more related to equipment load. Yes, you do have equip load, which you can see there in the bottom of resources, and I'm looking at 90%. So if I'm 100%, I will be unencumbered. You have all your different attributes, you have your status effects, and then some stuff that you can see behind me. You have your levels, the amount of talent points you have, your offense, like your weapon damage, your spell power, your spirit force, poise, and stagger, and your protection, like your armor, and then your various resistances to fire, bleed, poison, frost, void, physical, and wild. So wild, I think, is more like nature damage. Active skills are pretty self-explanatory. And again, because I'm a Vanguard, I'm locked into my more basic combat skills, and I've unlocked a few here. And you have 2 different sets that you can switch from, just like your weapon, your main and offhand weapons. So some of my skills I have my heavy attack, and then I have a light attack. Light attack is pretty basic. You have the uppercut, which is a starting skill, and then heavy attack, which is on B, and then on the X of the next set I have Enrage, which basically gives me more damage, but I also receive more damage, and I'll have up to 8 combat skills that I will be getting with this character, I assume. And that's the same with all the different But as you can see, I can also collect more skills for the other classes as well. I don't know if there's any respecking. I don't know. I didn't really read into that, but I feel like because of the talent trees that I'll be locked into a specific class, maybe I'll just be locked into the active skills I get, but that remains to be seen. Something I have to figure out later on whenever the game releases. And so we have quests that I'm on. This is a main quest, a couple of side quests I have here. I'm actually, when I go into the combat, I'm going to go into the side quest here, and then we have a map. So I filled out a little bit of the map. You can see some of this is not as detailed as some of these other parts, and I'll talk about that in a second because that relates to a character of where I'm at, which right here I'm at a place called Witchtree, which is my main cap, and you can recruit and you will meet various characters throughout your journey that will go to this hub world. Essentially, again, Souls terms, it's your Firelink shrine of the game. So this is our main character, and this is where the art really shines, is that every time you talk to a person, their character art will show up so beautifully like this. It is so awesome to see. So Sharon is the fabric lady that we picked up here early on in the game, and so you can talk to this person. You can ask her about different characters within the camp. You can ask her about herself, and then of course you can buy from her. And so each time you buy from them or you upgrade them by giving them diagrams, they will increase in their level, which will allow them to create more things in their shop and also give the ability to reduce their prices. You can talk to them. There's also transmog ability, which I have not gotten yet. So transmog is going to be great, especially for things that you want to change out, like the helmet. I'm not really digging the helmet. There's not really a not show helmet option in this game, but maybe that will change whenever the game releases. So we have her, and then we have Ulfgar. I feel like that's his name. Yeah, Ulfar, which is the blacksmith. So you can buy armor and weapons from him. You can smelt ore, like you can smelt copper bars, so I can do that as well. And he can create armor, and if you give him diagrams, like I have a couple diagrams I just collected, which is awesome. So now he's up to level 3, and he can now make things like this Scarlet Militia helm, which I will need the various materials needed for that particular helm. Which this is great because I need something a little bit more, but it does require him to be level 4 blacksmith. So I can't actually make it. I can make it, but I actually can't. He can't make it because I don't have the right amount of levels. So yeah, and then we'll go over here. You can also sprint. I forgot to talk about that. So RB, hold RB, and then you can sprint. And then there's a character that ended up right here. Again, love the character art, love the world, love this hand-painted style. So Reese is more of our arcane guy, so you can upgrade and enchant and craft and things like that. So actually I can upgrade him because I got a good amount of diagrams, so we'll upgrade him. Also, the voice acting is really good in this game as well. All right, so we got that. So we'll go out of here. And then we'll go up here, and there's our climbing point. So a lot of climbing and something. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about this right now. So I don't know if this will happen. I'll have to go up to higher ground, but I'll talk about that in a second. But remember what I talked about with the map. How some areas are more detailed than others, but that's because of this gentleman here by the name of Gerald. So you will collect map fragments that he will basically unlock more of the map, which will make the map more detailed as you go throughout. So you can see what elevation or what rooms lead into which or what items you can see throughout all the map. So exciting. You can talk to him. He's actually a pretty interesting and funny character. You can also buy certain skills from him, which I bought a couple of skills from him earlier. Some other consumables, some meat to use for cooking, and some other materials for that as well. And then stuff that he's just gotten. So think about any Souls character that kind of goes off. He's kind of like a thief character, I would say, that goes off and collects things and just has stories to tell. So funny, interesting character. And yeah, and that's a good amount of characters. But again, the character art. you can see how their faces and their eyes move. They don't really move their mouths at all, but you can see how detailed the artwork is in every single character that you see in this game. And it is phenomenal, the amount of time and effort they've put into just this. Like, I could just stare at people's faces all day in this game, and that would be it. So yeah, fun game. But let's jump into combat. Let's jump into that side quest I talked about. So as you unlock more of these shrines as well, you will get the ability to fast travel. So the side quest I'm on, which is essentially collecting a guy's thing from his abandoned house. So we're gonna go from here, from Witch Tree, all the way to Feralwood. Something you probably can't see. I'll have to move. No, maybe I'll have to like do a screenshot of that or something like that. I'll have to do a screenshot of some of the other currencies that you have. So above is your gold, and then in the middle is essence, which is essentially souls, which uses to level up, and then the bottom is currency I'm not too familiar with. I haven't experienced that at all yet, but let's go through here, and I think I'm going to go this way. All right, so I think I'm high enough. So I've talked about this on threads, and maybe I'm not high enough yet. One of the things that you can do when you fall is that you will take, and maybe it happened, you will take fall damage. It's a pet peeve of mine. I'm not the biggest fan of fall damage, but I understand the reason why devs put in fall damage, because it requires you to engage with this climbing mechanic. You also have a downward attack as well that you can get the drop on enemies. So we're gonna go this way, and then we're going to go into this house. So this is the abandoned house, I believe. Oh no, this isn't it. I'm probably in the wrong place. Okay, I realized I was in the wrong spot. I should have been in the old Wickham Living District, because the boss is actually right in here, because I was here before, because the last time I did this, I did die, but I'm a little bit stronger now. So we'll see how well I do. So here. Let's actually get the jump on you so I can show off that down attack. So here. Boom. Dead. Nice. And what's also really cool is that you will unlock a lot of shortcuts. You'll get keys, you'll get lock picks to unlock chests that will give you items and weapons, all the fun things you've come to know and love. And then you have human enemies as well that will taunt you. You also have a backstep. I forgot to talk about that. So the roll, if you go forward, you have a roll, but if you just press RT, you do a backstep, which is great in this type of game because enemies will attack you again. Did a parry. There we go. Oh! And they dropped a little bit of loot there. And sometimes there'll be enemies down that way, like him. And I'll block. Oh, nope. Didn't mean to do that. All right, so he's down. Up here. Climb back up here. And then we are going to go into this house and fight the boss. Hopefully I don't die. All right, so let's go over here. Nope. What's also cool is that there are breakable walls, so if I find it, I will point it out. Go this way. All right, nothing here. And then we're going to go down the ladder. If you hold A, you can slide down better. If you have RB, you grab it. Nothing over here. It's kind of creepy. I do like the various types of areas that you're in. And I think I've already unlocked this part by pulling that lever. Yeah. Up there. Up here. Climb up here. So yeah, once you get a handle of the controls, it's pretty intuitive. You can kind of figure out where to go. And like I said, I spent a lot of time on this particular. All right, here's our boss. Here she is, the Wraith. So, and again, like a Souls, like any skill-based combat, it's figuring out enemy patterns. You also do up attacks. So maybe I'll use that rage form. And I did get hit there. Ugh. Nope. Roll past you. Do my attack. Yeah, I lost quite a bit early on. Nope. Jump over that. All right. Nice. Oh. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Jump. Oh, I got hit by that, but I thought I was jumping over it. All right. Get you. And then dodge. Jump over that. And there it is. She is down. The abandoned house completed. So now I just picked up weak coalesced essence. And then I learned prism, which I don't think that's an ability that I can use based on my skill set. But I will talk about that coalesced essence. That is another form of soul. So it grants 250 essence when consumed. And I'm going to consume that to add it to my overall essence, which now I have over 2,000. And then that skill I got, looks like that's related to the astral relic skills. So yeah, I don't have the ability to use that. It says it requires the astral relic, which I believe that is related to the Vindicator. So yeah, I have nothing to do for it. So it's interesting that you can collect skills for other classes, which does lead me to believe, I'm kind of speculating here, that maybe you can respec, maybe you can do like some dual talent type of stuff. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. I don't know how locked in you'll be with your particular class. So we'll just have to see. Yeah, so we'll go this way. I don't know if I explore this area yet. I know, fall damage, and you can actually hear your character like curse because of that. All right, what I hear? A torn teddy bear, and that's exactly the item that Pepper, our person, wants back to them. So we'll take it back to them, and then we'll complete the quest. Before I actually go back to Pepper, I do want to just show off what a town would look like in this, because it is so expansive. You can see just people are doing things. NPCs are just doing their task, and there's so much conversation. You'll actually hear side conversations as you go throughout. And again, I can't get over how awesome the character art is. You can buy things from the tavern, basic RPG-like stuff. And then we're going to go out. Foreground, backgrounds are incredible. There's some fantastic weather effects in this. And you can just see how much detail and love is put into this game. So there's a funny character that I passed by in this market here. It's a dad talking to his daughter, and he's basically doing dad jokes all the time. Maybe I'll get one. Yeah, there we go.
Eggs don't tell jokes because they might crack up.
Dad, stop it!
Yeah, funny stuff. All right, so we'll go back to Pepper, who's sitting right here. Our dwarf friend. As we need it.
I didn't think you'd find it. Take this for your trouble.
And we'll leave, and then we got lockpicks. So yeah, we got money and lockpicks. So not. That was awkward. I do like how your character does interact with the rest of the world. That's the beauty about having a fully voiced protagonist. Like they can voice their own opinions within this, and you can choose the dialogue that they have. Again, incredible dialogue. So you can ask questions. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions. So the Crimson City is actually where your character comes from. Your character is an Inquisitor. I actually did not talk about the story. Your character is an Inquisitor that has various arcane abilities, and you work for essentially a king priest who is sending you out to hunt witches. That is part of the story, and that is why you're exploring, and that's why you're on the mission that you're on right now.
Folks here value their independence. We'd bleed for Wickham until there's nothing left in our veins. We'd fight to the last man before bending the knee to a god king. I don't expect you to understand.
There you go. And I have no more questions. That is all for now. So yeah, a lot of deep lore, a lot of character building, a lot of world building within this, and how people react to you as an Inquisitor throughout this world. They treat you with some sort of respect. Some people don't treat you with as much respect, because they do tend to have a chip on the shoulder because of how people are treated. But you are an important character. You're actually probably more important than most in this world, and even amongst your own Inquisitors, you seem to be pretty special from what I've gathered from the beginning of what this game has said. So yeah, Yeah, interesting game. I am enjoying the heck out of Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree. And it is, like I said many times already through this video, it is beautiful looking. The foregrounds and the backgrounds are amazing. I'm enjoying the deep amount of combat. I'm enjoying the level of immersion that I'm experiencing every time. Just by gathering this and just seeing how much love they have put in this game. And this is just a preview build, so I'm excited to see what the full game has to offer when it releases on April the 17th. I hope you do as well. I hope you've watched this. I hope you've checked this out. I hope you've checked out the demo. There is a demo that is available right now. I don't think it has as much as the preview build, but I am glad to be able to show off the stuff that the build that I have today, and I really do appreciate the folks over at Knight's Peak for sending this to me to show off to you today. If you want to see more covers of Mandragora, be sure to lock it in here on the Basic Fun channel. I'm definitely going to talk about more of what this game has to offer. Maybe I'll do a full review on it and maybe talk about some of the other classes that I have been playing as well as I take out all of these enemies. If you want to see more coverage of that, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. My name is Chike, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.